back. It's really tough to find anything against Vergil to cheer against. His opponent, though, Israil Madrimov, where he is in his career, how seasoned he is, his style, his trickiness, his athleticism is having me right now in this moment leaning towards Madrimov. So I'm going all in. And this is wild for me to say considering I'm a big Ortiz fan. But my dad always said, bet with your wallet, not with your heart. I'm going all in on the underdog. I think Israil Madrimov will defeat Vergil Ortiz. This is not an echo chamber. It's your turn now, guys. Welcome, fight fans, to my channel. This is Johnny. In today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning last night's fight between Vergil Ortiz and Israil Madrimov. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. And if you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? A lot of you guys are watching my videos and maybe you're unaware that you haven't hit that button. 80% of the people watching haven't subscribed yet. So if you could do that, that'll really help me out. As well as like this video and hit the bell icon, the notifications. What that'll allow me to do is every time I put something out like this that's new, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you. Guys, just when I'm right, I say I'm right, and just when I'm wrong, I'm happy to admit that I am not perfect. I want to say congrats to both fighters. Vergil Ortiz, my friend, you are a savage. And I told you guys last week when I picked Madrimov, it was really tough for me to do so because I'm a huge Vergil fan. So I was watching that with kind of two hats on. And what a fight, what a war. I want to say cheers to both camps as well. We know how this fight turned out. Vergil Ortiz won a decision on all the scorecards, 115 to 113, twice 117 to 111. He had to overcome some adversity. This was not a one-sided affair. I know all the people who are casuals who love Ortiz were coming out doing videos talking about how he washed Madrimov and he beat him up so bad, and that way you could see that Vergil would beat Bud. Now, I don't do any of those boxing maths. Styles make fights. And what we saw was a beautiful game plan on Vergil Ortiz's side. So Coach Garcia is a savage. I still think, which is crazy to say, I think Robert Garcia might be underrated for how much accolades he gets, and everybody internationally knows about his camp, the fighters he's coached, the fighters he has, his current stable. I don't think he gets enough credit, because what I saw was a fight, and with Madrimov, he jumps out to an early advantage. Madrimov wins those early rounds, and if we want to be quick about it, it was those middle rounds where Vergil started coming back. Ortiz had to come back to win this fight. This is another thing that I hope doesn't get lost in the narrative, is that this was a comeback victory for Ortiz. He was losing this fight, and Madrimov was doing what Madrimov always does. At the beginning, he was doing what he does on why I picked him to win. That awkward movement, those feints, really deceiving sort of speed, deceiving punch angles, all these sort of things, throwing punches at different angles, and it was just going to come down to, oh, here it is. This is another Madrimov fight. This is what it's going to look like. But where Team Garcia and the game plan came in those mid rounds, when Ortiz started winning rounds, he got Madrimov to fight his fight. If you watch, if you watch from the 5th to about the 9th round, the middle rounds, it might have even started at the 4th. We'll say 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, at least 5 of those middle rounds. Madrimov's footwork slowed down because of Ortiz's beautiful body work as well. And hang on a little bit in this video. We're going to break down all those punches. We're going to talk about the jabs, the power shots, the output, the beautiful body work in which told the story. But it was that body work Ortiz was landing, he was investing in, that slowed Madrimov down and eventually changed Madrimov's game plan. We saw in those middle rounds, Madrimov started to fight Ortiz's fight, which was crazy, which I was shocked at. He stayed in the clinch, he was moving less, and he was engaging in a slugfest, a bar brawl war, and this was exactly what Vergil wanted, and it's exactly what Vergil got, and this is what ultimately led to the decision victory, because if you're going to stand toe-to-toe with Ortiz, you better have some high artillery arsenal power, and Madrimov just couldn't match that output from Ortiz. And as the later rounds went on, kudos to Madrimov. I thought he was going to fade, eventually get knocked out. That's how it looked like the fight was trending, but he actually won. One of the judges had him winning the last round and the 10th round. So it was an all-in-all classic back-and-forth war. Not even close to being one-sided. Now, 117 to 111 I thought was a bit wide. I did agree with the 115 to 113. That's how I scored it. Now, before we beg the important question, where do the fighters go from here? Let's take a closer look at those stats that help tell us the story. All right, guys, let's look at the total jabs first throughout the fight. Vergil Ortiz throws 280 and lands 60 at a 21% clip. Madrimov throws 187, landing 30 at a 16% clip. The power punches throughout the entire fight. Ortiz throws 281, landing 106 at a 38% clip. Madrimov throws 279, landing 97 at a 35% clip. So Vergil right now, with his total jabs and his total punches, he's more accurate than Madrimov, and he's working just as hard. A point I want to talk about, though, is of those power punches, of the 106 landed for Ortiz, half of them, just 56, were body shots to Madrimov's 18. So that was the narrative that I thought swung the fight for Ortiz. 56 power shots landed to 18. That's going to be a tough night at the office if you're fighting Vergil Ortiz. And finally, the last stat to look at are the total punches. Ortiz throws 561, landing 166 at a 30% clip. Madrimov throws 466, landing 127 at a 27% clip. And once again, the total body shots of the fight, Ortiz throws 65, Madrimov lands 22. I wasn't shocked when you look at those stats to see that Ortiz threw more. We knew he was going to be the higher output of puncher based on styles. Madrimov, I don't want to really say picks pot shots, but he kind of gets in that sort of style. He could get into this law of movement, movement, feint, feint, pot shot, exit. Movement, movement, feint, feint, pot shot, exit. And that was actually working for him early. It was when he started to engage and change his style to mimic Ortiz's, in which Ortiz has started breaking down the body, landing those big shots, doing damage, and taking Madrimov's feet away. If you've never boxed before, if you've never fought before, and you want to know how to take somebody's movement away, you go to the body. It's another element of the game plan that when Vergil's down those first 3 rounds I had him down, it could have been easy for him to stray away from the game plan, but he trusted it, he trusted the process, he trusted the hours and hours they put in the fight camp, and more importantly, he trusted Coach Garcia, and he did amazing, and my hat goes off to both fighters, and I'm happy to say that I was wrong. In the comment section below, I want to ask you guys now, where do both fighters go from now? That's 2 losses in a row for Madrimov. We know that this guy is a pretty insightful guy. We've heard him speak multiple times, so you know he's not probably going to take these losses too well psychologically. Where does he go? Who does he take? Does he take a tune-up fight? And what would be a good matchup for him? For Vergil, top of the world. He's at the top of the mountain. One of you guys asked me last night on YouTube, where do I see Vergil ranked at 54? I'm like, he's at the top. 100%. I'll put Vergil in there with any fighter in the world at 154. That kid is one of the most exciting boxers on the planet right now. He's one of the most exciting styles. He always comes in prepared. His cardio was through the roof. And more importantly, he's a freaking dog. Who do you want to see him fight next? Leave that in the comment section below.